For this assignment, I have chosen to study the effects of obedience and conformity and how different people may respond to these issues based on their upbringing. I've selected two interview subjects, one with siblings and one without, to see if their differences in conformity could be more than coincidence. Please state your name and your age.
Adam Tan, I'm 13.
Do you have any siblings?
Yes,
How many?
2.
Are they older or younger than you?
Both older.
Alright, first question. How important is obedience in your family on a scale of 1 to 10?
7 or 8.
How obedient are you? Do you accept instruction easily?
Yes, mostly.
Alright. Please state your name and age.
Rosanna, 18.
Do you have any siblings?
No.
Alright. First question. How important is obedience in your family on a scale of 1 to 10?
7 or 8.
7 or
7.
8. How easily do you submit to command? Meaning, how obedient are you?
1 to 10. Stop.
Can be anything you like.
I'm okay.
How about on a scale?
7.
This is one situation. If you were getting scolded by your parents, but you personally think that you're in the right and that they are wrong, would you object or would you just accept their scolding?
Object.
You would object. What if one or both of your siblings agree with your parents and then try to fight you as well?
I'll just accept it.
You accept it?
Yes.
Okay. Let's say you were getting scolded by your parents, but you think that you're right and they are wrong. Would you object?
Yeah.
What if other people agreed with your mother? Would you still object?
If I still thought I was right, then yeah.
On this issue, it's obvious that Adam is more prone to accepting contradictions to his own beliefs than Rosanna is, specifically when it comes to his siblings. Why is that? Perhaps being the younger sibling in his family has taught him to refer to his elder siblings when it comes to establishing a moral compass. He requires validation in decisions. Rosanna, on the other hand, has grown used to having to think on her own without a similarly aged peer around her for guidance. Therefore, she is more independent in opinion. Also, her age might have some influence here. A friend of yours asks you to help him get a drink, but the both of you are equally as capable and free to get the drink. What would you say?
Ask him to get the drink himself.
What if your mother was the person who asked you to get her a drink, but both of you guys are as free and as capable as the other?
I would get it for her.
Alright. Seeing how that is sort of special treatment, do other family members of yours expect that special treatment from yourself or from their other relatives? In your experience, in your past experience?
No. A few.
If a friend was sitting right next to you and he asked you to get him a drink, although he is as capable and as free to get himself the drink, would you?
No.
What if it were your mother?
Yeah, I would.
Has anybody else in your family expected or committed that kind of special treatment to you or any other relative?
Yeah.
Here, we see how authority is important in dictating obedience. Generally, the people whom hold more authority in our lives command greater obedience from us. In this case, our mothers and family members command our obedience more than others do. Are you more likely to object to the punishment of a classmate or someone close to you?
Somebody close to me.
Why?
They're closer.
Are you more likely to object to punishment of a classmate or to your pet?
Pet.
Why?
Well, my pet is an animal, so whatever they did wrong, they probably didn't do it on purpose,
Imagine they have a conscience.
like a human.
Yeah. If their thought process was completely the same, they're getting punished for the exact same thing.
Yeah, probably still my pets.
Why?
Because I treat them like my children. I'm probably closer to them than classmates.
In this instance, we see how we are less likely to conform when we have more at stake. Meaning, here, both subjects are more protective of those whom they have deeper emotional relationships to. Conformity thus depends on emotional distance. Here's another situation. Imagine your mother is away, let's say in KL, and she calls you and asks you to put in a load of laundry and get it cleaned by today. But she's only coming back 3 days from now. And she won't find out when you did it as long as it's all done by then. When would you do the laundry? Immediately or sometime within the next three days?
Immediately.
Imagine your mother were to call you from somewhere like KL, really, really far away, and ask you to do something, let's say the laundry, and she says it has to be done by today, but she's only coming back in 3 days. Would you do it immediately? Or would you do it sometime within the next 3 days, just not now?
Sometime in the next 3 days.
As we already proved, authority is important in establishing obedience. However, we notice how Rosanna is more likely to not immediately obey an authoritative figure like her mother. I'm going to make a logical assumption that because she is older and therefore more independent, she has learned to recognize the physical distance and leniency of the authority, being her mother, which allows her to slightly disregard obedience. If your teacher were to ask you to send a note to the headmaster asking him to cane 3 of your friends, would you say yes or no?
Yes.
If your teacher asked you to cane 3 of your friends yourself, would you say yes or no?
Probably. Because I don't have a choice.
Alright, if your teacher were to ask you to hand a note to the headmaster saying that 3 of your friends were to be caned, would you do it?
If my teacher told me to do it, yeah.
What if your teacher were to ask you to cane your 3 friends?
I wouldn't do it.
This surprises me greatly. Rosanna is mature enough to understand her ability to reject wrongful actions when they are thrust upon her. However, Adam feels as if he has no choice but to obey his superiors. Perhaps his age makes him easily intimidated by his elders, but what if anyone is subject to unbound obedience when faced with a greatly intimidating authority? This phenomenon lines up perfectly with the Stanley Milgram theory of how people can be made to do things against their will as long as there are great enough motivators in play. Which one of these 2 situations would you have least trouble with? Dropping a bomb on 10 people from an aircraft, meaning not having to see the people that you kill, or having a knife in your hand and stabbing them one by one?
Dropping a bomb.
And why is that?
I don't want to see them die and it's faster.
Which would you have less trouble with doing? A, dropping a bomb from an airplane and killing 10 people without you having to see the deaths of these 10 people, or having a knife in your hand and stabbing them one by one? You have to pick one.
But I'm still gonna end up killing 10 people nonetheless. I'll bomb then.
Why?
Because I can't see it happening.
Once again, we are shown how emotional distance affects one's willingness to obey instruction. Both Rosanna and Adam felt that they would be more willing to kill targets from afar than close up because they would not have to witness or feel it happen, meaning they would be less exposed to the consequences of their actions. That's all the material I have on the topic. From my perspective, not only does upbringing play a big role in an individual's tendency for obedience, but so does age, maturity, and personal independence.